What's up, UglyAss niggas? This your boy J Miles, and I am back with another video. And you know what to do. If you're new, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, leave a like, comment, let me know what you're thinking. Most importantly, make sure you share with your ugly ass friends. On today's video, we'll be covering Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, and this one right here is titled The Death of Krystal Explained. Well, revealed. Shit. I thought I put explained. Oh, well, man. Anyways, so in my opinion, I think the death of Krystal is absolutely common. If I had to go ahead and pick an episode, I would say she's out of here at episodes 8 or 9. But it's absolutely going to happen because we have a major parallel that is happening right now. And I think I may have mentioned it to a couple of you guys before on the live, but I'm not exactly sure. But anyways, if you're a fan of Power, you know they love to do the parallels, and I can see another one revealing right before our eyes from a mile away. So without further ado, let me just go ahead and get into this. Now, first I have here the episode 9 synopsis, and it reads, Kanan, suspicious of Rock's involvement, investigates Krystal's disappearance. Rock faces fallout from Unique's retaliation and Marvin's mistake. Jukebox revisits her past, and Lou embraces his new path. Now, really, the only part that's really important is that beginning part in this particular video. Because what I think is going to be going on here is that it's going to be a parallel is absolutely going to happen from the original Power. And I can see something like the boy who cried wolf situation happening with Rock. And I'm going to explain all of that right now. So, as we know, on episode, 3, Krystal was heading into the apartment and UglyAss Unique was heading out. He bumped into her, and she was like, yo, UglyAss could have said, excuse me. Then when he turned around and she saw he was ugly as hell, she was like, oh shit, he ugly as hell. She rushed into the apartment fearing for her life. So, and after that, she told Kanan about it, right? The reason why I'm bringing this up is because all of this is going to be very necessary. It's another parallel, people. And I called it the moment I saw this part here. So that's what prompted me to go ahead and make this video. Because don't this remind y'all a whole lot of another scene in Power? I'm going to get to that real shortly. But first I need to explain this because it's all going to tie in. So also in this same episode, Rock, remember, not only did Rock go to visit Krystal earlier in this episode, but later she got a letter. She got a letter stating that Kanan hadn't been going to school. And if y'all been paying attention to my channel, you know that I made a video not too long ago, it was yesterday sometime, stating that Rock is going to give Kanan an ultimatum, saying that the only way she's going to continue to supply him with product is that, he has to go back to school. I'm almost certain she's going to try to pull something like that. So Kanan is absolutely not going to like that, and he's going to resist. And I can see something like, Rock may be thinking that Krystal could be the influence on her, the reason why, the reason why she wants him gone. She's going to want Krystal gone. Now, a lot of y'all are probably thinking that Rock is going to be the one to kill her, but nope. Pay attention to these parallels. It's not going to be Rock. I'm telling y'all. So, because Rock is actually too obvious too. People need to think about that. It's not going to be her. Now, let's get into the parallels so I can break this down for y'all. Think about this with Rock. Whenever Rock needs something done when in regards to Kanan, what does she do? Or who does she go to? She always goes to Juke, because she knows that Juke and Kanan are more like brothers and sisters. They're very close. So, with that being said, after she's having this issue with Kanan not going to school and her hanging out a whole lot with Krystal, instead, she's gonna ask Juke to go and get some information for her, like she's always done. So, you know, caring about her Aunt Rock, and of course caring about the whereabouts of Kanan, I can see Juke going ahead and agreeing to do it, and she's going to go ahead and head over to find out what Kanan has been up to. Also, keep this in mind, I still believe that even though she let it go, Juke hasn't forgotten that Krystal tried to set her up to die. Keep this in mind, because this is going to come back later on in the video. Now, next, Ghost. The reason why I have Ghost here is because if you pay attention to this Raising Kanan, especially the last 2 seasons, you see a whole lot of parallels between Ghost and Rock, particularly with their parenting. They're slightly different, but they have a lot in common. They both were trying to steer their kids into a certain direction, but it turned out bad. They both were in the drug game. They both kept lying. When they could have just told the truth, they chose to keep lying, and it ended bad for Ghost, and I'm pretty sure it's going to also end bad for Rock. It's already going bad now. So, why are you bringing this up, UglyAzzNigga? Reason why I'm bringing this up is because of this. Remember earlier I was telling y'all, what do that apartment scene remind you of? When Krystal was telling Kanan that she no longer wants to live in that apartment anymore. Remember that? Why? Because she said it was some fucked up looking nigga coming out of the apartment the other day. And I can see when certain things go down, Krystal is gonna not be about that life. She's gonna want out. Very similar to your girl Lakeisha. What happened when 2-Bit and Spanky set up that dude? I forgot his name. It don't even matter. But the dude came and paid her a visit, you know what I'm saying, at her shop. And he ended up cutting her arm, right? But she ended up killing him. And she immediately called Tommy over to help her, right? And once she did that, she broke down and she told Kanan she don't want to do this drug shit anymore. She wants a house in the suburbs away from all of this shit. That's what she said. Isn't that very similar to what Krystal just got through doing, people? She told Kanan she wants to get a new place that's nice and that she don't want him to lay where he works. So there's the parallel there. And we all know what ended up happening to Lakeisha. That pressure got on her. But right before this, you see this, Tasha came up on her. And how did Tasha get to her place? Think about this. Ghost called her, right? Ghost called Tasha and told her that they started to look back into the Raymond Jones situation. And she was like, and Tasha was like, well, it don't matter as long as our alibi still stands up. But she was like, with Tariq going to get Kanan's ashes, and they know that, why would he do that if he's the person that they think kidnapped him? Stuff. They changed the narrative. And they said now Keisha doesn't have a reason to protect him anymore. You need to go over there and talk to her because she's afraid of me. Remember that. So what I think could happen here is once Rock have this issue with Kanan not going to school, she's going to send Juke over there, right? And I believe when Juke goes over there, it could be a possibility that Kanan won't be there, but Krystal will, right? And once that happens, she's going to discover that Krystal is going to be into something that's going to look very sketchy. Even if that's the case, even if that's not really the case, similar to Lakeisha, it's going to look very sketchy. And I can see them ending up in a tussle, very similar to Keisha and Tasha. And Juke is going to kill her. Her first body will be Krystal, people. That is how it's going to play out. It's not going to be Rock. I'm telling you. And remember, what ended up happening with the Keisha situation. Immediately after Keisha was killed, after Keisha was killed, Tommy instantly thought it was Ghost behind it, right? And he has a good reason, I guess, to think that, but he thought it was Ghost. Then he later on figured out that it wasn't. Now, let's go ahead and head on back to episode 9, synopsis. What do it say right here at the beginning? Kanan, suspicious of Rock's involvement, investigates Krystal's disappearance. Exactly. It's the same thing, people. They're showing it to us again. It's happening all over again. So basically, what's going to happen is Kanan is going to accuse his mom. That is why at the beginning of this video, I said it's going to be like the boy who cried wolf situation. Because this particular time, Rock is actually going to be telling Kanan the truth. She didn't do that. She sent, she just sent Juke over there to get some information for her, but it turned out badly. So, but later on, Kanan is going to, just like Tommy figured out that it wasn't Ghost, Kanan is going to figure out that it wasn't his mother, Rock. And he's going to pay a visit to the person who was actually responsible. Just like Tommy did, people. Just like Tommy did. What did Tommy do? He pulled up on Tasha and let her know that he knew that she was involved and that it was her, and he just wanted to know what's Ghost involved with it. And I can see Kanan coming very similar to this situation. She may ask her, is his mom involved? And I can possibly see that this scene here is what ended up causing Juke to give Kanan that big scar that he has on his neck that we saw in the OG Power. So, later, ugly-ass niggas probably would wonder, okay, so if that happened, what happened? How did they end up still being close later on in Power book, in the original Power later on? Well, just like another parallel. What happened in book 2, Ghost? Eventually, Tommy and Tasha made up. So in my opinion, I think some certain circumstances is going to happen. Juke's going to be there for Kanan, and they're going to remember who they were before all that craziness happened. And Kanan is going to forgive her. She's going to forgive Kanan, and they're going to get back tight. It could be the death of Marvin or something like that brings it back close, or someone close. Either way, something's going to happen to bring them back close. And then nothing's going to break them possibly until what we saw at the end of the OG, in season 4 of OG Power. So, pretty much, that's all I got for y'all glad niggas as far as this particular video. So definitely let me know in these comments. You know how these parallels work. Could you possibly see Krystal being taken out by your girl Juke due to, her initially going over to get some information, but something goes terribly wrong. She finds out Krystal is involved with something that she thinks is sketchy, and it leads to the murder of Krystal. Let me know all of that in the comments. And if you think it's somebody else, like Rock or somebody else, or you just think maybe Krystal lives and that's not how it's going to play out, let me know all of that and more in the comments. But you know, like usual, be cool with me, fool with me. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Leave a like, comment. Let me know what you're thinking. But most importantly, make sure you share it with your ugly ass friends. But until the next video, I'm out.